Recording this. All right, so hi guys, welcome. Welcome back to Live Room again. So um, let's go through quickly a bit of fundamentals in terms of like um, stuff I posted yesterday in the group. So I don't know if you've guys seen, but Donald Trump's been um, going a bit haywire with his firing of quite a few of his staff, of his key players, and these are guys that he's fired them based on what we don't know. Actually, we don't know why he's fired them. Just if you look at Trump and how Trump is, I would imagine it's probably because it's a disagreement on how he does things, and Trump doesn't seem like the kind of guy um, that's democratic, if you like, as a use of the word. So obviously, it's not good for the markets when that happens, when there's anything that's uncertain. So it causes uncertainty. So anytime you get uncertainty in the market, it causes the market to sell off. So with Trump causing uncertainty due to his, firing these, firing these different people. He fired Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, um, and also he's fired his longtime personal aide John McEntee. So in the past 2 weeks, there's been 5 high-profile departures from the White House. All right, so it's Gary Cohen, Hope Hicks, Josh Raphael, and then obviously you've got Cohen, you've got Tillerson. See, the problem with all this firing that he's doing, with firing people the way he's doing it, it makes you think. If you imagined, for example, just looking at a household, and then you've got, for example, a member of the family leaving that household, or more than one leaving that household, or a job, for example, even if you're at your work, imagine that you've got people that start leaving. That off its own back is going to signal some cause for concern. Yeah, so it causes uncertainty. Obviously, the markets don't like uncertainty, so they sell off. So it's important to remember that. Yeah. All right. So let's look at quickly the news first of all, first and foremost. So if I do this, can you guys see this? Can we see that calendar?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got to make sure all the time that when we use the calendar, that the time is correct. So on the top right-hand corner, if I just mark this, do you see what I'm drawing here? You've got the time. So what we need to do is click on the time, and then it should be set to GMT typically, and then we just save settings, and that'll be correct as you can see here. Back to calendar, and then if we scroll down to Wednesday, we can see what's going on today. So at 12:30, we've got retail sales, core retail sales coming out of the US, PPI, and we've got retail sales coming out of the US as well. These are the high impact ones. They're marked in red. So it's important that you always check, the red announcements that's coming up for the day. So crude oil inventories, note that it's at today it's 2:30. Typically, crude oil inventories come out 3:30. So if you see that there, crude oil inventories. Now, in the news, just so you know, you've got these 3 boxes here, these 3 figures. Yeah. What you've got is you've got the previous, wherever the previous figure was. So here you can see it was 2.4. They're expecting there's going to be 2.2. Yeah. So this is if you click on the folder, do you see the folder here? If you was to click on that, got someone calling from New York. If you was to click on that, you'd see here that it tells you what the information is about. So, and it's good to have a read of these things. You want to understand a bit of fundamentals, because fundamentals move the markets. We can look at levels all day long, but nothing doesn't move without there being some kind of physical exchange of money, some kind of physical, actual, real event that's going on in the markets. What we do in the charts, we use that to identify where the movements are going to be. So here, we can see what it measures is a change in the number of barrels of crude oil held in inventory by commercial firms during the past week. So we know that they're saying there was 2.4 million. Now they're expected is going to be 2.2. So this is the previous that we have here. I'll put a P above it for previous. This is the expected. Okay. So what that means is that we can ignore the previous. The previous doesn't really matter to that great degree no more, right? Because it's happened, it's in the past. So what we're looking at is the expected. Now, the expected is priced into the market already. The market already knows it expects it's going to be 2.2 million, so the market's priced that in. So from 2.4 to 2.2, it's not a huge difference. It's not going to affect the price or the oil markets or something like the Canadian dollar and so forth to that great a degree. What the market's looking for is what the actual is going to be in relation to the expected. Yeah, so it's these two here that are playing off, not this here. If we get a huge difference to the upside or downside, it's going to cause movement. So you can see if you come down here, it tells you why trade is clear. See that? So it influences the price of petroleum products, which affects inflation, but also impacts growth as many industries rely on oil to produce goods. At the moment, that's the way the world is. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Trump's put a tariff on solar power. Anyone seen that? Yeah, Trump's put. Let me see if I can find the article. Solar power. So I would imagine that's to do with, if you think about just power in general, in terms of like who holds power and stuff. Corporations hold the power because they hold all the money. Like the banks, they hold all the money. So we do live in a world where money talks. So what happens is when you think about something like renewable energy or something like solar power, where we could save the economy, you would think that anybody who's a president, prime minister, leader of some kind would push towards that because it's going to save on the Earth's resources, and that's part of what they're supposed to be doing, right? But at the same time, that big corporations really run the markets and make decisions. That's why the schooling system is the way it is and so forth. It's all set up by big corporations. They're the ones that get laws passed and so forth, and hence why you'd always see big corporations representing, when it comes to things like governments and so forth. Yeah, they'll always be involved in some which way, shape, or form. All right, so that would tell you that Trump is obviously being controlled by obviously big money. Yeah, so Bloomberg. If I do this, put this in front, you guys should be able to see this. All right, so where's it gone? Bloody hell, it's back on the other screen again. Let's move this across. All right, cool. All right, so if you see this, all right, cool here. Trump's tariffs on solar mark, biggest blow to renewables yet. So the president approves 4 years of tariffs starting at 30%. That's quite high, 30%. If you, Jesus, it's like, why would he do that? Anyway, so it's set to gradually decline to 15% in the fourth year. Maybe that's to allow for these big, oil corporations and oil companies to make the switch across and so forth. Yeah. So that's probably what's going on there. But that tells you a lot about Trump and his actual his intentions and who's controlling him, who's making those decisions as well. You can see why Trump's president, because he's entertaining, and Americans, love their entertainment, don't they? Anyway, so let's go just back here to the calendar and see what else is going on. So crude oil inventories, we can trade the oil trading strategy on that. That works really nice with crude oil inventories. So something like dollar CAD would be good because the Canadian dollar relies heavily on oil. That's its main export. Some currencies are commodity currencies. Do you guys know? Does anybody here really keep up to date with things like this? Like, do they understand like things like commodity currencies and that type of thing? Or should I quickly speak about that? Don't all answer at once. Don't be shy as well. So Canada, their biggest export is oil. Yeah. So anything happening in the oil market is going to affect the Canadian dollar. Yeah. Typically trading Canadian dollar, you can be trading dollar CAD. Typically, things like certain minerals like gold and silver will be the Australian dollar. Actually, you guys probably I think you guys have got this in the course already. So the course that I sent out to you guys on that playable PowerPoint show, if you go through that, remember to go through that. There's a lot of good information in there for you guys. The reason why I put it together is just to give you the things that you need more so than anything else. Because a lot of times when people get to the markets and they start getting involved and they want to start looking at other things as well to try and up their knowledge. So we give you all these things, because think about the internet itself. The internet, because anybody can put anything on the internet, they can put garbage as well as good stuff on the internet. Then you need to be able to decipher it and know what it is that you're looking for. So if you know what you're looking for, you can see what's good and what's not. If you don't, you're going to be bombarded with all this kind of information that may or may not make sense to you, you see. You can see here that all inventories are released weekly as well. So 4 days after the weekends. Typically, what you'll find is every week at 3:30 on a Wednesday, you have crude oil inventories. That's how it normally works. Yeah. But again, you can find them all here and see what's going on. Any questions on that? No? Okay, cool. And then later on, we've got GDP coming out for the New Zealand dollar. That's for the evening. If you trade in the evening, trade the Tokyo session, you can look and see what's going on there. And again, you can see exactly what it's about. If the actual is greater than the forecast, it's good for the currency, which means that the New Zealand dollar or the New Zealand dollar, whether it be against the dollar or the yen or whatever, we should find some strength for the back of that, yeah, and so forth. And then let's have a look here. If you want to know more about these announcements here, obviously core retail sales, it excludes automobiles and it's basically, if retail sales are up, think about what it means. It means that people are spending money, yeah, in shops and stuff like that, which is important to keep an economy growing. So if you think about the stock market should always be rallying, it should always be climbing, it should always be going up, steady, but it should always be going up. It should be doing this. Because it's a measure of the economy, isn't it? It's think about what it is. These are companies, yeah. So these companies should all be doing well. They should be prospering and progressing. They should be making money in terms of sales. They should, also, if retail sales are up, it means that we should have more people in employment than not, as sometimes the case is, because it's all in line, yeah. So it basically works together, yeah. People are working, they're making money, they're spending their money in shops and so forth and stuff like that. So businesses making money, banks are able to then loan out money. People are making money, they can borrow money from banks and stuff like that as well. So it's a whole big financial model, yeah. It's a big debt model, but it is what it is. And then you can see here it tells you usual effect. If actuals get greater than the forecast. So remember. Not worried about this. Forecast. If actual is greater than the forecast, then it means something, yeah? So they're expecting that retail sales will be up. So if retail sales are up at 0.4, then you probably won't get much of a movement off the back of that. And then if we go down to PPI, so again, same sort of thing, same sort of information. They all come out together. So, we'll see. Typically, you want to see them all kind of showing the same thing. But again, if actual greater than forecast, it's good for the currency. And it's basically the changing price of finished goods and services sold by its producers. And then, if you look down here, you've got resale sales month on month. So you had core at the top. And you've got retail sales down here, and again, they should be coming out in line with. So they're expecting that's going to be up also. So the expectation for US dollar is going to be that it's bullish. So the releases will be positive. They'll be bullish. So see how that works out. The problem with the US dollar is all this stuff that's going on with Trump. It's creating massive uncertainty. You've got the Federal Reserve talking about they're going to raise interest rates as well. But a lot of times they can say something, but based upon what's going on, a lot of times investors aren't going to buy it. So as far as they're concerned, it's a case of whereby it's a bit of bravado talking. They don't necessarily buy into it as that being the case. Remember, the Fed can 100% say they're going to raise rates, and then something could happen when they turn around and say, well, we can't raise rates. So you remember, just because they're expected to do something doesn't mean they necessarily will do something. It doesn't always happen like that, yeah? So you've got to bear that in mind as well. And then we've got news coming out tomorrow. So we've got Swiss news coming out in the morning. So for those of you trading London Open, dollar Swiss could do well for you. It all depends. We'll see how it goes. They're not expecting any change in the rates, so it shouldn't be. But it'll be interesting to see what the policy assessment is. And then you guys can do that in your own time. You can click through. I won't click on every single one. And then Friday we got 12:30. We've got building permits coming out for the US. The rest of the announcements that are coming up, I'm not really that interested in because they're medium to low impact. Typically don't cause any movements in the markets. Yeah. So let's see what's going on here in the markets. Pound yen. What's this? I've got a sell limit in place. That's not been triggered. Okay, we'll see how that goes. So I've got a couple of levels here. See if the market drives in, collects some orders. If it does or it doesn't, we'll soon find out. So pound yen. Let's start with pound dollar. Yeah, because we're the session that we're trading in, and we'll just flick through and see what is going on in the markets. But something I do want to speak a little bit about is psychology as well. Yeah. So psychology, as you know, is important. News comes out in half an hour. Sorry, in 10 minutes time. So we'll see what impact that has, if any. Yeah. But I've got these two here. So I'm going to stick an order in here. I know the news is coming up, but I'm going to put an order in here. And I'll be looking. If that is 8, I'm going to give that 10 pips. Stop. It's the upside. Yeah, okay, perfect. Right, so with news coming out, we'll see what happens with the news. There might be a major impact. There might not be a major impact. You know, we'll see. At the moment, who knows? Euro dollar. If that fills for a sell, I'll take it. So we'll see what happens there. The reason why I had that level there, I put my indicator in for you guys as well, just to give you that visual. That pound yen's been filled, perfect. Just to give you that. Actually, let's just do this. I sent out some templates, by the way. I think you guys should have seen that. Yeah, sent out some templates for you guys because Tipmill has changed the time on their platform, so the extra hours have been added for daylight savings time, which kicks in here in the UK next week. So that's already enforced. So I've sent you indicators GMT +3 on the London breakout, New York, and also on the Tokyo on as well. Yeah. So let's put our supply and demand in, see what's going on. And you know, it's always good also to draw levels as well. You know, where you think they should be, put lines in, get a feel for what the market's doing. Yeah. So you're not trying to make any kind of just rash decisions on it. By the way, this here, the reason I put my order here and not here, and if I miss out, such is life. But the reason why I did that, didn't do it here, so it's because of the wick. You know, I mean, that's 12 pip wick. I don't really like it. So my thing is, I want a bit higher. It's not quite half, more about 3/3. But I mean, if it's going to drive in and collect it, great. If it doesn't, then I'm not going to worry about it neither. Yeah. So it's neither here nor there to me. So I'll just flick through and see if we see anything interesting going on here. I took a trade here earlier in this range. I could take another one here. It's just come outside the box. I'll be doing it just ahead of the news. So wait a minute. Let me just see what's going on with that position there. With the time, sorry. In 2 minutes. Right, I'm going to take a quick sneaky trade here on this and see if I'm putting my stop below the second level. Yeah, so I'm allowing it to be able to push down through to collect the second order here, if that's what it's going to do. If it pushes in my favor, great. If it doesn't, then it's not going to be that big a deal neither. I'll take it at the bottom one. With the news, obviously, you always want to be careful because with news, you know, anything can happen. But with this kind of news, I don't think it will be that big a mover, to be honest with you. So let me just bring up my template here for New York, and I'll talk to you quickly about psychology. Just want to see what the ranges are. See, it's not bad range, 13, 15. That's not a bad range at all. So what I'm going to do here for this New York break. Now the New York break doesn't happen until 1 o'clock. You see. So I'm going to just do this. If I do change the candles for you, yeah, is that better for you guys? Seeing candles? Do you like that better? Yeah, remember,
Yes, I will prefer.
yeah, cool. I can hear one person only, but it helps. All right, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use this rally-based rally as my entry for the New York Open. Yeah. So I don't know if I've shown you some of you guys this, but the reason being is, and you'll see in a minute. Actually, let me just put it. All right. Okay. Cool. Let's see what that is. Okay, right. You see in a minute. Now, what you're gonna notice here is that the range is very tight. It's only 5 pips. Now, 5 pips is a bit tight in terms of like a stop loss range. Typically, you'll get stopped out on that. But what I'd expect to see is just drive in and drive out again. Yeah, so I'd expect to see it fall down a bit first to come collect some orders. Actually, this is the Aussie yen. I wouldn't normally trade the Aussie yen in this time frame or in the 5 minutes, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna leave it in and see what happens. Let's go through the dollar, like the euro dollar. It's a good one for the open to trade. Let's see what that's doing. It's gonna remove the moving average. Yeah. All right, now the trend, as you can see here in the euro, yeah, you can see that it's the moment, the current trend, you can see it's pushing down. Yeah, everybody see that? It's pretty clear and straightforward, isn't it? Also, yeah, that there is a level. See, it didn't take my level, but I'm going to hit this one at market now, and then I'll put my stop back up here. Now, let's give me a 20 pip stop. Just want to give it some room to maneuver. That's all I'm doing. So I normally wouldn't necessarily have a 20 pip stop, but 20 pips isn't too bad actually. So I'll see how that plays out. Any questions? Feel free to ask your questions. You see that again? Missed my entry. Sometimes it does that. But let's see what that's giving me. That's 9 pip stop. 17 and 9, yeah? Yeah, perfect. So I'm leaving this order in. If it does push back up to collect it, then I'll take it as well. Yeah, but this is what I'm expecting to see it do. Now remember, it's not prediction. There's no 100% always going to be right. It doesn't work that way. Because this has been tested many times. I'm just going to hit my trading stop. Just move to break even right now, and then I'm going to cancel this trading stop now. None. But it's put me a break even. Yeah. So if it continues to rally, then I'll take it. If it doesn't continue to rally, and then it will take me out. News is coming out, so that's all it's about. Yeah. Back to where was we? Here. Okay, cool, perfect. Dollar yen. Dollar yen's good to trade in that time. Dollar yen, we're already in dollar yen at the moment, so we'll see how that plays out if it keeps pushing up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a push up to collect something. I'm just gonna do a quick. Let's see what's going on with the US with Trump at the moment. Democrat strong performance. Pennsylvania shakes Trump and GOP. Whoa, okay. So Democrats have had a strong performance in Pennsylvania. Don't know what that means or doesn't mean or whatever that may be at the moment. So it says here that Rex Tillerson was fired by Trump in Russia warning. So he pointedly failed to thank Mr. Trump or praise his policies. So look at that. There you go. That's what you got. A narcissist. Sorry, guys. I've got some messages coming in. Sorry, guys. Let me just type this. I've got messages coming in. Just hashtag bullish. Right. So. Right, so let me just quickly check what else is possibly setting up for this New York Open. Now you see pound yen again. I'd be looking to sell that. So we don't need to move an average to see that you're looking to sell it, do you? Not really, because I mean you can look and see that the market's coming down quite clearly. I'm in pound yen right now, so there's no point in me. I'm not going to take another trade in pound yen. I'm already here in pound yen. The Aussie dollar. Oh, look at that. Aussie's nice and strong, pushing up. So look, Aussie here is where I'd look to get in. Yeah. So do you see that? Aussie there. So bang. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screenshot some of these and send these out in the group because not everybody. Some guys are so active in the group, but they're not active in the live room just yet. Not everybody can log in, so I appreciate having you guys here. Let me quickly just screenshot these and send them across, and then what we'll do is we'll talk a bit about psychology. So what you're going to find is psychology is the most important when it comes to whatever it is that you're doing. No matter what you're doing, psychology is the most important. That's just the bottom line. Yeah, no matter how you look at it, right? So if you have a job, a business, if you're an athlete, you know, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, if you're and if you're a trader, right? So of course, same thing. Again, as a trader, it's so important that that your psychology is on point, because if it's not, then you're going to make mistakes and you're going to mess up. So why do people mess up with psychology? Why is it a difficult one? You know, what's the issue with that? You know, and so forth. You know, so why is it that people make so many mistakes psychologically when they're looking for things? Yeah. Look at this dollar yen. Dollar yen's pushing to the downside. All right, I've got buy limits in dollar yen. Just check why I've got these buy limits in place. Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. We'll see what that does. Um, that may or may not go through. Like I say, I don't expect you guys just to follow these because what I'm doing, but this is just here to show you what I do. So if I show you what I do, it'll probably give you an easier idea, and also it should mean that people aren't so scared just to push the button and place trades. You know, because the levels work and they work really well. So. And Aussie yen is another one. Let me just see what Aussie yen is doing, and then I can send that one out. Why did I take this trade in Aussie yen from that level? Oh, that's why. So I took it in a lower time frame. Yeah, from the 5 minute. Okay, cool. Save as bitch. Bam. Send that one out also. So bear with me 1 second. Last one I'm gonna send out, and then we'll talk about psychology. Yeah. Boom. Boom. Cool. All right. So. Euro and cable. Let's see what that's doing. So these two here, I'm going to just get this to break even. Okay, and then let that go and see if that runs. I don't know where that take profit is from. Let's just cancel that take profit, and then move this down. So if we have a look at this, I mean, this is the actual rates, the actual range itself, isn't it? Do you see that? Yeah. So it's the actual range itself. So we're trading in the range. This thing breaks out and keeps going. Bang, that should give me a nice trade there, isn't it? You see, a good reward to risk ratio. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then obviously trades locked in doesn't matter. The other two, euro dollar's not quite. Yeah. Euro dollar has come up to collect my second. Boom, like that. So we'll wait for that one, see what that does. So anyway, so while we're doing that, let's talk a bit about psychology, right? And about the mind. And I've got this presentation that I did that I want to show you guys, right? So let me move this out of the way so I can still see it. And then so you guys can see this, right? And then I'll show you guys something. Right, screen. So how do I switch this? Display settings, swap. Can you guys see that now? Big how to master any skill, yeah? Everybody see that? Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So this here, I was going to send this out as just a PowerPoint slide, but really I need to talk you through it because you know people out there have coaches, right? And coaches make people great at whatever it is they do. And any skill requires mastering. So just to give you a bit about me, I used to be an athlete and I used to actually compete in wrestling competitions and stuff. Well, coffee, yes please. Sorry guys. Yes please, mate. So anyway, so I used to compete in wrestling competitions, and I had a coach. So what was the purpose of the coach? Well, I mean that coach, that coach is he was there to not just tell me what to do, but to correct me as I'm going along. Yeah. So you're going to see how that all works in line with what we do. Yeah. Trading is no different to being an athlete or a business owner. Yeah. There's always a doing that needs to be done. But most people, what they're looking for is they're looking for the end result. Yeah. So what they're looking for is, how do I get the end result? Where's my pen there? So what they do is like they decide, okay, I'm going to use I'm going to use an analogy of a gym, yeah, right. So you guys can get this, right. So someone says they want to get in shape, yeah. So for whatever reason, they're overweight or they're just not feeling that healthy, or they've been slouching for the whole year and now they want to get in shape. Summer's coming up, wherever it is, yeah. So they decide they want to go to the gym. So what do they do? So they may sign up for a gym membership, yeah. So they get their membership card they paid for. Yeah, membership card, not MasterCard. And then they go and get their gym equipment. They've got their gym bag, and they've got their running shoes, and obviously don't mock the drawings here. And they got their running shoes. Yeah, I'll put Nike tick. There you go, it's Nike. Running shoes and their workout gear and stuff like that. And then they turn up at the gym, and the gym's got all these weights there, and they're going to start basically doing whatever they do and start training and so forth. Yeah, and so they go along, and what happens a lot of time with gym memberships is they get used for a week or two and then never again, but they're still paid for consistently, right? So there's something going on within the minds that makes that happen. Yeah, because exercise, going to the gym, yeah, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? Anybody can go to the gym, but it's what you do when you get there. What do you do when you get there, right? So there you are. Right. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just going to move some stops to break even and let them run. Sorry, guys. I'm just managing these positions at the same time. Pound yen's done. Euro dollar's done. Cables in profit as well now. Bam. And then what else? All right, cool. Perfect. So all positions are good now. Just putting some profit targets in place with these. This one here as well. All right, cool. Where's the profit targets? Not at. Okay, where is no profit targets? Oh, they're all there. Okay, cool. They're all in place. Perfect. Okay, cool. So those are all running. Don't need to worry about that. I can now focus on you guys a bit more. Right. So anyway, so with the gym, and then they stop. And then why is that? And then what happens? Typically, it's like this, right? So they go to the gym, yeah, and they have to do some hard work. Now, that hard work is not pleasing to most people, yeah, because they don't enjoy the hard work, the soreness, the strain, and so forth of actually working out and exercising. So at the end of it, what do? They look for excuses and reasons. So somebody might have a reason not to go on one day. Yeah. So it's, for example, I've had a stressful day today. I need to go for a drink. I'm a bit pissed off. I've had a bad day. I'm going to go for a drink. They have a beer or two, and then now they can't train no more. They can't go to the gym. One thing that you guys will see with me, especially those of you that end up on our trading floor, you will see that after work, I'm not a let's go for a drink type of guy. I'll go on a Friday, but that's about it. During the week, I've got stuff that I want to do, and so one of them is, I do like to work out as well. I like to do, even if it's just 15, 20 minutes, doing things like pull-ups, squats, push-ups, and stuff like that. So therefore, for me, the drink gets in the way. The very next day, when I have to come into work as well, I'm not going to feel so alert if I've been drinking the night before. Yeah, especially if I've been drinking like a lot of the guys in the city. In the city, it's like the pubs are full. They're completely chock-a-block. I don't know if it's like these guys don't want to go home to their wives and wives don't want to go to their husbands and stuff like that, or what's going on with these guys. But, they drink a lot, right? And the problem with me is like when it comes to alcohol, I like to have a beer, but I'm a bit of a lightweight. I can have 2 Guinnesses and that's it for me. If I have a third one, I'm walking sideways. Next day I'm groggy as hell, so I don't like that. So, but the point is, it's like, so the point I want to make is the process. Yeah. So what it is most people don't like the process; they want the end result. You can't have an end result without the process. That's just not the way life works. So like with trading, like anything, you need to commit to the process. If you don't commit to the process, then you're going to find that you're not going to get end results. So I was watching on the weekend. I was watching Mike Tyson, some Mike Tyson videos. I'm a big fan of Tyson from back in the days. Those of you that are from my same. I'm 43. Any of you my age bracket will remember Tyson. If you're a boxing fan, he may well have been your favorite boxer. But it's just like just it's not talking about watching his fights or his knockouts or anything. I was watching Mike Tyson just talking about what he used to do in his training and stuff like that. And he would say, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he'd go running on the boardwalk. And one thing that he used to say it's not that he enjoyed the training, but he had to fall in love with the things that he hated and be disciplined, right? It's the same thing everywhere that you go. There was a player, I can't remember what his name is now, but he was new. He was going to play with Man United. Don't shoot the messenger if I'm wrong about the teams. I don't know much about football, but I think it was Man United he was playing for. And this kid wanted to impress the manager, yeah. And so he turned up 2 hours early before everybody else started training. When he got there, Cristiano Ronaldo had already been there 2 hours beforehand, training already. So he'd gone there 4 hours earlier. And that's what it is. In life, if you want to accomplish and achieve great things, you've got to put in great efforts. And sometimes it requires a little bit of sacrifice. Do you know what I mean? Such is life. That's just the way it is. But you've got to fall in love with the process of doing, right? So I'm going to show you now that no matter what you can or cannot do, you can master any skill, right? So Dr. K. Anders Ericsson. So this guy is a Swedish psychologist, Conradi eminent scholar, professor of psychology at Florida State University, widely recognized as one of the world's leading theoretical and experimental researchers on expertise, right? So he's written these books. He's written these books here that you guys can get these on like Amazon and stuff like that. And I mean, they're well worth looking through. I've read a lot of this stuff on how talent is created and built and so forth and stuff like that. Yeah. Right. So myelin. Now, myelin is a dielectric, so it's an electrically insulating material that forms a layer called a myelin sheath. Yeah. So it's usually around only the axon of a neuron. Yeah. So remember that. We'll come back to that. Now I'm just going to show you how much what I'm talking about has been backed up by science, medical research, and so forth. Yeah. So all these, there's many books that you can read on all these. Yeah. This one's, if you guys don't know what an outlier is somebody that performs above and beyond everybody else. Like someone like, I don't know, what's the guy from Apple, the one that died? Steve Jobs. He'd be considered an outlier and so forth. Muhammad Ali would be considered an outlier. Muhammad Ali actually said one time, he's quoted as saying, that he hates training, but if he trains now, puts the work in now, and he'll live as a champion forever. And so, one of the sayings that I really like is, pain is temporary, glory is forever. And it's the truth, it's forever. So anyway, these are good to read. Malcolm Gladwell did one called 10,000 Hours as well. Yeah. This is a good book as well by Jeff Colville, Talent is Overrated. Talent is never enough, and it's fact, So look, Daniel Quayle wrote a book called The Talent Code. Really good book. And also the Little Book of Talent. And if I just take you through this, right? Nerves are like an electrical wire. Yeah. So just imagine now an electrical wire that connects, for example, your TV to your skybox or whatever. The current, which is the message, must be conducted along a path, the nerve. So the current that's coming from your skybox, the cable that delivers it is the nerve, right? And then the fingertip is like the TV screen. Yeah. This is all making sense, yeah, guys. I'm not getting. I'll get some yeses. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so the electrical current must travel without being corrupted, scrambled, diverted from the proper path, or leaking energy. Myelin is like the layer of plastic insulation surrounding an interior wire, which is the nerve. Now you're going to understand. I've always said to all of you guys, anyone that's ever spoken to me, even if we've not done any coaching sessions yet thus far, anyone that's ever spoken to me, I've always said, like, look, any questions that you have on anything that we do, yeah. Call me right away. Don't sit there wondering. Don't sit there thinking, no, he must be busy. I'll call him later. Just call me right away. pick up the phone, make the call. I've always got my mobile with me. If I don't take your call, I will call you back. It's not an issue. But do that. The reason being is because you're going to see how it's important that we do this before the myelin is properly formed within your brain, right? Right. So myelin is like the layer of plastic insulation surrounding the interior wire, which is the nerve. Myelin speeds the conduction, so it's also I can't never read this word. Analogous to a secondary coating on the wire that reduces the resistance facing an electrical current. So the interior wire represents a series of axons and nerve cells that relay the electrical impulse. People that have Alzheimer's disease have broken myelin. The myelin's been broken up, yeah? And this diagram is quite good because then it shows you the myelin sheath, as you can see here, yeah? So you can see here the myelin sheath, yeah? Can I see that? Okay, so if you imagine, yeah, perfect. So if you imagine your brain is here and these are the fingertips. So if this is your brain, B for brain, and then FT for fingertips, yeah. What you do is you go along. What we want to do is as you're learning and learning and learning, you're not sure? Question mark, bang. Don't keep going because you will. This myelin sheath will form, and it will form amongst what you don't know. Do you understand me? Yeah. And then you'll have incorrect information here, scrambled, and then you'll get confused. So what you would do is call me straight away. We'll get that ironed out, and then there's no more questions. Bang, myelin sheath forms, and then you start building that skill correctly. Yeah, so you got it embedded. This is about fast tracking you. You know, this is in my job here, coaching you guys. I don't get paid for overtime. Yeah, so I just want to give you the information, have you guys be more independent quicker, rather than take a longer time to become independent. Does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. Take that as a yes. All right, so pressing on. So here we go again. This is all happening inside your brain. This is a typical Alzheimer's, yeah, sufferer. This here is typical Alzheimer's sufferer. It's damaged nerve. Myelin should look like this. It's a normal nerve, yeah. So when you struggle, yeah, you're forced to go slow. Okay, so you know when you're learning something new, there's a bit of a struggle, right? You are forced to go slow, which is important. So you pay deep attention to what you're doing. So when I say to you guys, do me a favor, get a blank, what's it called? Get a blank chart and draw your levels in. Just get a blank chart and draw your levels in, yeah, like this. So this one here's got something on it now, but if I just do this and I give it my plain template, it's plain. Doesn't matter what you use, what time frame you want to go into. You can go into price bars. You can go into price bars. You can go into candlesticks. It doesn't matter. It's the same information. And then what you do is then you start drawing in, just like I was doing beforehand. Start drawing in where you think it should be. Look, there's a big drop. There's a base. There's a rally. There's a drop. There's a base. There's a rally. I've got a level here at the wick. I put that in place there. Yeah, you guys see that? Everybody see that? Yeah, perfect. And start drawing them in. And then you see another one here. Draw it in, and then send it to me. Yeah, send it to me via WhatsApp. Send it to me via another one here, or send it to me via what's it called? WhatsApp or email me. Yeah, whichever one you want to do. It doesn't really matter. What I'll start doing with you guys, yeah, is I think we've got some positions taken out here. What have we got? Pound dollar. It's trading wise. It's still trading now. Yeah. And what's that? Euro dollar. Euro dollar's not doing much. So euro dollar's trading. Let me just cancel that trading. Sorry. It's it's break even now. I just want to cancel it and see if it goes. If it goes, then great. If it doesn't, then such is life. Who cares? Yeah. It's safe now anyway. The trade. So do that. Right click. Save as picture. Select active chart, click OK. That will appear in your browser. Your what's it called again? Your help me out here, guys. It will appear in your browser. Your internet browser, right? Your Chrome Explorer thing, yeah. And then you can either send me the link, or you can right click and copy and then paste the picture in as well, yeah. So do that. Why do that? Because while you're doing that, you're forced to go slow and you're doing the learning.
If you send it to me, I can come in and correct it right away. If I correct it right away, what we're doing is building correct circuitry within your brain. The myelin can then force and reinforce that, and then embed that skill in. Yeah, this is really important. When I was boxing, the same thing. My coach used to have me in front of the mirror. When I was wrestling, I broke my ankle, and my coach said to me, after 3 months, I still got 2 screws in my leg, but after 3 months, I was out the cast. So I went back to the gym and I said, I want to start training again. And my coach said to me, you can't train. He said, like, you just had a serious injury because it snapped in half. And he said, it's a serious injury. It's like, you need a year out at least. I said, I can't do a year out. I can't do a year sitting at home. It's just got too much energy for that. So he said to me, so I'll tell you what. He said, just hit the bags. It was an MMA gym. So he said, just hit the bags and I'll see what your form's like. And if your movement's good enough, then you can do some boxing. So he had me doing boxing. And he'd have me like for the whole hour or two. And I'd get so bored sometimes doing this. I used to hate it. But I stay in front of the mirror and I was just shadow boxing, but really slowly. And I throw a jab. And then I'd have to stop and then correct it correctly. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I didn't understand the process. I don't know if he understood the process, what was going on in my mind, but obviously he was giving me the correct training. Next thing you know, you're in a sparring match, and then you're sparring with somebody in a competition or whatever it is, and someone's hitting you, and you're a bit overwhelmed, but you can still throw punches with correct form. Because that's your body now, that neuron's been created, and the myelin's gone around it and thickened it. Do you understand me? So the action's always there. You can always do the same thing, right? So cause your brain to literally alter. So this causes your brain to literally alter its circuitry. Myelin responds by wrapping layers of insulation around that neural circuit, each new layer adding a bit more skill and speed. The thicker the myelin gets, the better it insulates, the faster and more accurate our movements and thoughts become. Listen to this. It's universal. That means that everyone can grow it. Yeah, it's not for the few. Remember, there's reasons why some people are better than others at certain things. It's because the work and effort they put in, that's all it is. So it's indiscriminate. It doesn't care who you are. It's like the markets. It doesn't matter who you are. Its growth enables all manners of skill, mental and physical. And that's from Daniel Cole, Talent Code, right? So well worth reading that if you want to know more, and we'll talk more about this as we go along anyway. Okay, so coaching. We build upon this with coaching, really important. So you guys do what it is that you're doing. Unsure of anything, you call. So we make sure that we don't catch any bad habits. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you to complete this, yeah? I need you guys to join in a little bit here now. But complete the phrase, practice makes...
Perfect.
Perfect. Who said perfect?
Me, Jason.
Jason. Hey, Jason. How's it going, mate? Right, okay, cool. So now that's a common thing. So where did you hear that before, Jason? Practice makes... Anybody else say practice makes perfect? Where did you hear that saying before? It's not the first time that
for years.
For years, right? Okay, cool. Right, okay, cool. So look, guys, I want to say something to you now that that saying is incorrect. Practice makes perfect is incorrect, right? Because practice doesn't make perfect. Because if you're practicing something incorrectly, it's not going to be perfect, is it? Does that make sense? Yeah. Right. So practice makes permanent. I want you guys to write that down. Practice makes permanent. That means whatever I learn, I'm gonna keep that skill permanently, indefinitely. I always have that. Do you understand me? You guys with me? Yeah. So this is important. Only perfect practice makes perfect. So look, who's using this type of thing? This is called deliberate simulated practice. Yeah. Pilots use it before they fly. That's what they do. Golfers use it all the time. Look at Tiger Woods. Chess players. When you're first playing chess, if anybody plays chess here, first of all, you're slow. You're really slow, first of all, making the decisions. You get quicker and a lot quicker, don't you? Musicians do it. The best musicians in the world do this. Athletes do it all the time. Writers, singers. When you learn languages, first of all, you pronounce the language. How do you do it when you speak the language? You do it slowly, first of all, to get the pronunciation correct. You right? Painters, I don't mean like house painters, but artistic painters, artists, actors, and financial traders do it also. Do you understand me? Yeah. It's not a case of like, I know if you went an education course, some of the education companies out there, they'd just say to you like, look, this is it, go ahead and do it and you make money. If it was as simple as that, everybody would be making money with these guys, isn't it? Yeah. So pressing on, David Beckham used to kick the ball against the wall. Johnny Wilkinson's known to practice kicks well into the night. Boxers do it in front of a mirror. Pilots practice virtually. Deep sea divers practice in the swimming pool before they go in the sea. Tiger Woods, spoke about Tiger Woods. All performers do it, and then trading as well, same thing as well. Yeah. So This is Edgar Dale's cone of experience. So he spoke about, how we learn and stuff like that, and how we retain information. When you read something, you retain 10%. Yeah, we've got 10 minutes left, so I'm trying to speed up a little bit. That's all to get it all in. When you hear people speak, you retain 20% of what you hear. That's why I keep repeating myself a lot with you guys. It's not to sound annoying, but it's just to hone it in. If I can get you guys consistent, in half the time by doing that, then that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. By watching videos and viewing images, that's why it's good to watch these. I've recorded this one, by the way, Ferenc. I know you asked about that. Attending presentations, welcome. Attending presentations. 70% is based upon, what you do right and etc. But 90% is based upon actually doing it. Yeah. And there's the reason why we say to you trade a live account, not a demo account, is because number one, no broker services a demo account, so the price is always out. So the results won't be the same as they are live. Also, you don't retain as much, but it also leads to imperfect execution, which means imperfect practice. And remember, practice makes permanent. Only perfect practice makes perfect. Yeah. So there is a method to the madness. Right. So let's move that. Bang. Click to the next slide. Right. Okay. Cool. So that's that. Right on those slides. So let's just quickly see what these positions are doing here. Where are we? We've only got one running now. That's 10 pips up. Euro dollar sell. This one here. All the others came good. Actually, what did the others do? So let's have a look. Sorry. Drag this thing up from this morning. So from this morning's trades. Oh yeah, and I had one loss on as well on that one there. Dollar yen. So from this morning. That's not this morning's, is it? No, this one wasn't. Look, this trade here wasn't from today, guys. This was an order that I put in, just so you know. This starts today, but this is an order I put in yesterday, and it only hit this morning. With supply and demand, when you put orders on an hourly time frame or 4-hour time frame, you can usually just leave them. Yeah. So, if I just do this custom period, 16. Today's 15th, right? So today's the 14th, right? Okay, cool. So I just want to show you all the trades that are on here, just so you can see that. Just taking the levels, yeah, just like we've been doing, just taking the levels, yeah. On all of them, only one of them hit take profit. This thing's not showing. I can't show you what I want to show you because I don't want. I wanted to show you the pips, not the monetary value. Yeah, because what you guys are doing right now, if you just take up the trade size, you'll be making more money anyway. But this is just trailing the stops. Do you see what I mean? You see where sometimes I'm taking 2 entries and stuff like that, but I'm putting my orders in beforehand. So that's all you need to really do. Just put your orders in beforehand, put your stops in place. You manage your risk. The levels work. You've seen it. It's proven itself to you. And ideally, for you guys to get the most out of this, you want to be trading between half and 1 lot as a minimum. As you get more confident, you want to be going up 5-10 lots, and then you want to be going from 30, 40, 50 lots. I've done this a load of times, by the way, guys, just to give you a rundown. So I didn't just start this business. Me and Neil didn't say, look, we've got a good idea, let's do this. We were doing this before for other floors, but it got to the point where we just thought, like, look, we need autonomy, because otherwise there's so much we can't give these clients, in order for them to be profitable. So if no one's restricting us, we can make them profitable. And we'd have guys, Neil can tell you, we'd have guys that would make 20, 30, 40 grand in a day because they're trading like 20, 30 lot positions. Obviously you need to get there. You want to have 25 grand in your account to do that. But even if, for example, you have 10 grand in your account, you trade 2 lots at a time, you're still going to clean up. Do you see what I mean? And then you'll get better and better and better and better and better. But you don't want to look at the result. Yeah, so you notice I didn't look at any of the results. I didn't know the results. I wasn't that interested in the results. So I've just been stopped out on something, haven't I? Have you guys seen that? Something just happened there. I've been stopped out on that Euro trade. So it stopped out or did it hit target? Euro trade hit target as well, yeah? Was it Euro? Pound just closed out. It was pound just closed out. Yeah, sorry, my bad. So that pound position just closed out, hit its target as well. So again, I wasn't watching it. I'm not worried too much about it. I don't really care. I don't have a bias to any great degree. Now, it's not because I'm so cool, calm, and collected. It's not that. It's just because I've been doing it for so long. I trust in the levels. Do you see what I mean? So, and that you guys should do it as well. It's the only way the market moves. It's an order-driven market. The rest of it, it's they're more self-fulfilling prophecies, I think. Support and resistance, Fibonacci's, triangle patterns, and these types of things. For me, it's all about breakouts, supply and demand, breakout, supply and demand, breakout, supply and demand. Of course, we want to trade with the trend and some of these key things, but these things will get it for you. Does that make sense? Yeah. The other thing I want to show you is like this one trade was a losing trade, but that trade. So I didn't let that losing trade affect my decision going forward. Now, the other thing that's important, I didn't let the winning trades neither affect it. Do you understand me? I didn't know what the wins and losses were until I looked at it like this, showed you guys what today's results were. So I wasn't keeping any strong eye on it, because when people say to me, and I remember I was speaking to one of my students and he said to me, he said, "You're not even watching it." I said to him, "Well, why?" I said, "What am I going to do now that I'm watching it? I'm not going to make it move any different." Does that make sense as well? Yeah. So my commitment isn't actually to making money, just so you know. I mean, I'm committed to you guys making money. I'm heavily committed to that process. But my commitment when I trade is actually the process. With processes, trading supply and demand, keeping correct risk management, and follow my rules. I'm not the rest of it. I'm not committed to. I'm not committed to the end result. The end result is a byproduct of the work that I do. Let me ask you this: if you order a pizza, yeah, and this even though it's simple, but if you order a pizza and you ask them you tell them that you wanted, for example, anchovies and pineapples on it, and pickle on it, and tuna on it, weird combination, I know, but let's say you wanted that. It's the kind of thing my kid would ask for. If that's what you wanted and you ordered it, and they said, yeah, it'll be there in 15, 20 minutes, are you going to sit there and wonder if it's going to come? I know you're going to wonder they got your order right, or are you just going to sit down and be like, okay, dinner's sorted now, I've got pizza coming. What would you do? Yeah, exactly. You're not going to worry about it because you know that the pizza's going to come. But isn't it possible the pizza might not come? Isn't it possible they might not deliver to your house? Isn't it possible they might get your order wrong? Isn't it possible it might mess up the complete order altogether? Isn't it actually possible that the guy that's driving the pizza delivery bike could get run over and so forth, right? All these things could happen, yes? But you don't worry about it. Same thing with the market. So, yeah, you could sit there saying, oh, but this could happen, but that could happen, and so forth. It could happen. Of course it could. But is it going to benefit you to sit there worrying about it, concerned about it? Or is it just going to play havoc on your mind? That's why a lot of times, when I post my trades, I've put everything in place. Neil might say, like, look, mate, do you fancy a coffee? We'll go to the cafe, or do you fancy going for a quick beer or something, or do you want to come out for lunch, or whatever it is, and I'll leave the trades and just go, and I won't watch them. And then I'll see the messages in the group, and sometimes I'll message back to whoever it is saying, yeah, so I'm in the coffee shop, mate. I don't know right now. I'll check when I get back. Do you understand me? Because I can't do nothing after the fact. So that's all it is. Commit to the process. In other words, you don't go to the gym, you don't do sprints and lift weights, and then every minute check your body to see if it's changing. Or you might do that. Some people do that, but it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make it move any quicker. Yeah. Cool. All right, listen, guys. I've recorded this. I just got to figure out how to get this out. I'll probably put it up on YouTube or something like that for you guys, so you can watch it because it's the whole video. It's not a link. Thanks for being here again. Any questions? Obviously, just hit me up in the group as well. And what we'll do is tomorrow, Neil's going to be doing live room tomorrow. So you guys will be looking forward to that. Do get in. So just give you a bit of background. Neil and my background and Neil's background isn't quite the same. Yeah. I've been trading now roughly for about, including learning, about 15 years. So I'm 43. I didn't come out of school and start doing this. I got into this later on. It was a friend that got me into it. This guy was driving a Porsche, seemed to always have quite a bit of money and nice clothes. And he ran the gym, and I just thought, like, the gym makes a lot of money. And then when he said to me he makes a lot of his money from the markets, that's when I started getting interested in it and getting involved that way. Neil actually left university and went straight to a prop shop. Like these graduates that get poached by all these big prop trading firms in the city. So Neil got poached by one of them, got given an apprenticeship, did really well. He was tasked with turning the minimum 50 lots a day. So when it comes to turning lots, if you're doing it just one lot at a time and you want to know how to turn like 50 lots on just one lot of time trade, actually Neil's your guy for that. Yeah. So that's where his background comes from. Do you see what I mean? So he's raw from that industry, if you like. Yeah. It's almost like it's like being born in the family of it, if you like. Yeah. So when you got a kid that's come up like that, obviously their mindset's going to be a lot different. Yeah. So it's well worth getting in the room tomorrow. Listen out for him and his teachings. Neil likes to talk a bit fast because he's so passionate. He's got so much information to give. You know, you may need to rein him in a little bit, but he will give you a lot of information. So do watch that again tomorrow. Anyway, listen, we'll sign out now. I could be here all day, but we won't be. Any questions, give us a shout. If there's anything coming up, I'll let you know in the group. We'll speak later. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here again. Cheers. Bye now.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye. Bye now. Bye.